How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So we are continuing on with the bug out bag, get home bag priority. So the first video that I did, I went over foot care because that's pretty much what you're going to be using. You're going to be hiking and you're going to be using your feet to get point A to point B. You just got to think worst case scenario. So that is my first priority, was foot care in general. The whole bug out bag, the whole premise of it is you throwing on your back and walking. But the next priority, in my opinion, is water. And that is exactly what we're going to discuss. All different methods of transportation, filtering, purifying, methods of utilizing water easily and effectively in your bag for long-term sustainability and walking for very long term if necessary. And this works even short-term if necessary as well. So all this stuff laid out in front of you is actually in my bag. Legitimately, I have used this, not this exact system, but pieces and parts of it for over a decade because I always try to improve on my stuff. But the whole premise of this has been going for a long time and I've used it a lot. So let's pretty much discuss into it. So the first one I want to discuss is containers and different types of containers in essence, because there's tons of them out there on the market. How do you know which one will actually work for you? Now, personally, I'm just going to show you my recommendations is a metal canteen or a metal bottle of some kind. Mainly, it gives you the capability of storing water, but also being able to purify it by fire or other means like, you know, boiling it, stuff like that, or even throwing tabs in, which we're going to get into here in a minute. But a metal container. Now, this is an extremely expensive option. You don't have to go with this. This is crazy expensive. A simple plastic canteen will work as well, which you can find Army surplus store or whatever, works extremely well. Now, next container myself, I use Life water bottle. I know a lot of people go, oh, perfect, that's great, or that's terrible, you need to get something else. I've just pretty much adopted it just because it's very effective within my kit. And you can just toss these once they're done and get a new one and you can rotate out. Works extremely well. The thread pitch on them is what I kind of gravitate towards, so which I'll discuss here in a minute. But mainly those are the two containers that I use to actually kind of drink out of in a way. Next for carrying water is this Hydro Pack, you know, water bladder in essence. It has like a nice little grab handle and everything. This is 2 liters. So this, the nice thing is if you don't need the water, you can literally roll this up and it disappears in your pack, especially if you unscrew it, get all the air out of it, it disappears and it's extremely lightweight. This is coming in at 2.9 ounces. Just going back, this is 10 ounces for both, and this is 1.3 ounces. So this is extremely lightweight for what it is. This is my clean water. This is like a supplementary to these. If I run out of these, then I'll go to this. Next is a dirty water container of some sort. Now I use the Canuck bag. A lot of people use this. It's very helpful, handy, and I'll show you specifically why. So the top, you can actually open up. Now, what I mean by that is this is a very large mouth to dip water or dip this into the water and get a lot out. If you're using something like this and you have the container open, you're trying to always fish with the bubbles coming out and your water coming in, especially if your water source isn't very deep and you can't get this back end deep enough to, like, you know, initiate the flow of water. This is kind of difficult and pretty much useless. But if you use this, you can pretty much set it up perfectly enough that you can almost be good to go when you drop it in. Now, there's other methods and stuff like that too, but I like this just because it has a huge mouth and you can really dip it and go, because you want to limit your time at that water source, because in essence, other people are going to be doing the same exact thing. They're going to be looking for water, and I like to avoid people because people are normally dangerous, especially people you don't know, because you don't know what they're capable of or what they are. Also, down here, this thread pitch, you can open this up and do a whole gravity-fed system, which I'll go over here in a second. So those are my 4 containers that I use to transport water. So now we're going to get into mainly filtering your water, or other means, kind of filtering and purifying in general. So I use the Sawyer Mini filter. I used to use the Sawyer Squeeze, which is right here. I have a bunch of these around. Either or is pretty good. I know the Squeeze is more reliable in essence, but this one's about 2.3 ounces and this is about 1.3 ounces, the Mini, and 100,000 gallons, same micron, so it's, you know, filtering that water at that specific level regardless. I just kind of flip-flop back between the two, and then, you know, when one gets beat up or whatnot, then I just honestly toss it. They're $23, $25 for these. Extremely affordable for what they are. But the cool thing about it is why I like the Life Water and this Canuck bag is because you can screw this in and use it in a way as a gravity system. So you can hang this up at camp or something, or as you're hiking, you can literally put this off the back of your bag, you know, use the straw, and you can connect these in essence in a way and filter on the go if you don't have time, which is really handy because if your main means of transportation is walking and you're moving and you want to get good time, dip this in the water source, screw this on, put it on the back of your bag and go. Helps out on time quite a bit. So you have multiple different layers working with you, or in essence multitasking, which is really big. So I like the Sawyer Minis specifically. Now as a backup as well, I have a bunch of the purifier tabs, which you can just drop in a canteen, wait your prescribed amount of time, and then it's clean to drink. So it's pretty much killing everything out of it. This is filtering everything, this is killing everything, along with boiling, if we're going to transition over to that mindset. Well, actually, before we do that, I'll show you the containers that I keep this stuff into. So I normally keep my filters and stuff, all this stuff, inside a sealed Ziploc bag. Now, if I'm done using them, they will go to a mesh bag to breathe if necessary. Now, if it's a winter time, I'm going to keep this close to my body heat because I don't want it to freeze and break that membrane. That's just with the filter in general, but I mainly use these two bags depending on what's necessary. This is kind of keep foreign water out, and this is to let it breathe after you're hiking and other stuff after you're done utilizing it. So aspect in fire or boiling wise. So this is the Keith titanium canteen cup, and it just nests extremely well. Works very well. You can do the same thing, you know, dip it into a water source and then throw it over a fire. Same way you can do that with the canteen as well. But if I'm drinking from that, purifying in this, you have some options. You can even eat out of this. This is pretty much my cook set, and it comes with a nice little cap as well. So two methods that I can use, and I've been debating back and forth, is this little Esbit stove, which you can use. This is kind of an older military one, which you can honestly just put your fuel tab in here, place it over, and then it'll boil your water with small amount of fuel tabs, which I kind of am on the fence about. I have some, I utilize some. I'm debating about taking them out mainly because I have this as well. So this is a twig stove, so you just use twigs and other branches and stuff around you, break it down, and it's the same thing as you set it on top, create fire. It's kind of like a rocket stove. It pushes all that heat up so you get a quicker boil. Plus this is titanium, extremely lightweight, kind of nice to have. Do you need to have this? No, I just enjoy it and it works very well, especially if you have a lot of branches or trees or foliage around you. Instead of hiking in with fuel tabs in a way, and then you're limited just to like 8 minutes on a fuel tab, I can just gather stuff up very close in my vicinity and use it. So I'm not hiking with extra weight and limited on time. So this is pretty much my entire system that I've been running for an extremely long amount of time. Like I said, this is just recently gone in there. I'm testing it out. I want to see how well it works. All this stuff has been weighed pretty exclusively and heavily. So this entire kit weighs 1.8 ounces dry. So dry weight, no water in it. But I have the capability, all 100%, of 1.5 gallons. I don't know if y'all can see that because of this is standing up. But 5.7 liters I can carry with me at one point in time if necessary, and then I can tailor it to whatever I need, or roughly 194 ounces. So that's a lot of water. in some climates, but your environment may differ. You may be out in the desert, or you may be in a very, Minnesota environment that there's just literally water everywhere. So that'll probably dictate what you need in your pack. These are all suggestions. This is what I use. So if you guys enjoy this type of stuff and want to see more, have any, thoughts or anything, definitely like, subscribe, and comment. Give me a comment below. Also, all these items are going to be listed in the description box below if you want some of these items. Yes, there's a small commission portion that goes to me because I'm an Amazon affiliate. So if you buy this, I get a few cents off of it, which helps the project out. If you want to donate more than that, I highly recommend doing Patreon or PayPal. I love my Patreons. I get in there all the time. They see behind the scenes stuff. I give them a lot more stuff. I interact with them much more than I do YouTube, just because there's so many YouTube, commenters and stuff. I do my best, but it's easier to manage over on Patreon. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Just keep enjoying the comment, like and subscribe. It greatly helps. And other than that, I hope you all have a great day.